Today is going to be the practice for beginner and intermediate, so grab the belt because we will have the way to the King's Pigeon and also to Natarajasana. Let's start from the yogic squat. Sit low, using the elbows to open the hips more, lengthening the spine. Adjust yourself to the pose. If you need, you can put the blocks or books under your feet. Just take a deep breath to reset, to let the energy flow. Breathing deeply, relaxing, preparing to the practice. Awaken the body, awaken the energy. And let's move the hands all the way up. Imagine you are trying to touch the sky. Look up, lengthen through both sides of the body, and then move the right hand over into the twist. Open up. And maybe you can get a little bit lower and find a bind with the hands. Move the spine upward, away from the leg. Don't lean only to the one side. Try to sit with the feet glued to the mat and inhale, raise the hands and move the hands forward, round the back, relax the neck and the head, stretching forward. Inhale, hands up, and exhale, left hand down to the floor, open up through the twist, open chest and lifted heart. And maybe you can find a bind or stay there, wherever you are. Breathing through this pose. Gaze lifted. And moving out of this, lifting the hands. Spread the fingers. Feel the energy through your fingertips. Exhale, bring your fingers to the floor. Round the back, relax the neck. And then move all the way up with the hips. Find your elbows, soften your knees. And find the ragdolls. You can straighten the legs, move from side to side. You can move your hands behind the back and releasing the fingers and gently push the skin away. Relax the neck. That's my favorite pose and wonderful option to lengthen the hamstring and release the low back. And then let's get out gently, lifting the hands up, exhaling hands through the side, bringing the hands together, moving the hands all the way up, and move the hands on the exhale into the namaste to your heart center. Inhale, sweep the hands. Exhale, gently move to the center, and through the center, go with your hands to your ankle or to the floor, hugging the legs, bringing the face closer to your knees. Uttanasana. And then move the right leg back, step back, look up. Move the left leg back into the plank, standing through the plank, bringing the knees down to the floor, and moving all the way to belly, bringing the shoulders back and up into the cobra pose. Inhale. On the exhalation, float to the downward facing dog, tucking the toes under, pressing through your fingertips to the tailbone, lifted hips. Heels are moving towards the floor. You can gently walk with one leg at a time, moving the chest in towards the thighs, lengthening the spine. Remember your elbows straighten. And then let's step this right all the way forward. And step the left forward to the top. Inhale, stretch the chest forward. Exhale, head to the knee. Inhale, hands up, stay high. Exhale, hands to namaste. And then let's twist to the right side, protecting the lower back with the right hand. And go to the opposite direction into the left. Look back, protect the lower back, don't bend too much. Bringing the hands to the sky. Exhale, Uttanasana. Stretch your sternum up and forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Let's go to the plank pose. Form the plank, press the heels back. Chaturanga or Chaturanga down from the knees. Inhale to up face or Cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing. Firm your shoulder blades against your back and draw them toward the tailbone. And then step both of your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, stretch the chest forward. Exhale, hug your legs. Inhale, bring the hands upward, slightly arcing back. Exhale, your hands to Namaste into your chest. And one more time. Moving the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing the roll down. Uttanasana. Your torso, look forward. And step both your feet to the plank pose. Finding the plank. Strong core. Exhale, Chaturanga all the way to belly. Wide your hands, bring the fingertips and press them firmly to the floor, rolling the shoulders up and back towards your legs. Exhale, bring the forehead to the mat. Inhale one more time, do the lift without releasing the shoulder blades, which are going in towards each other. Exhale, move the forehead to the floor. Bring your palms under your chest and move yourself to the plank and downward facing dog or downward face down from the knees. Inhale, gaze forward, step the right leg forward. Inhale, bring the hands up to sky, moving into the warrior two and gently floating to the side angle pose. Look up, stretching the left side of the body, press the shoulder to the knee. Maybe find a bind over here that will help you to open your shoulders. If not, just stay wherever you are. But you can try towards this pose. That's not so hard to do. Exhale, palms down inside of the foot. And then lower your hips, stretching them gently. Maybe moving a little bit forward and back. Just getting back to the breath. Calming the breath. Breathing through your muscles. Find the place where your hips will feel comfortable and opened. Come into the plank, moving down all the way to belly. Bhujangasana, the Cobra pose. Lift the chest and shoulders off the floor. Maybe down wide on the fingertips, just find the cobra you love. Try to create as more space as you can, moving one more time up and down, and then bring the palms under the shoulders, going to the downward facing dog, spreading the fingers wide open, bringing the left leg on top of the mat, hands up, going into the warrior two, rounding the back heel and moving the left hand inside of the left foot. Try to find the stretch with your upper hand so you will feel all the pose, all the side of the body stretching, gazing upward. Exhalation. Find a bind if that's possible for you, but bring the body away from the thigh. Try to create the space over there. Don't bring the whole weight into the front. Back leg really strong. Think about the back leg. And then press both of your hands inside of the foot and ground your hips down, stretching and opening them, moving the heel away to the back of the room. And again, breathe in, calming the breath, calming the pose. Remember about your choices, how low you can get. And then stepping back to plank, Chaturanga, down to the floor. Move your hands back and release the fingers and move the shoulders up. Try to glute your feet to mat. Don't lift the hands over here. Lift only the chest. That's hard to do but worth to try. Look up and try to lift every exhalation high. And eventually exhale, release the forehead down and press up and back to downward facing dog, Padangushthasana, our favorite energizing pose. letting the breath to come back to normal, letting the heels to be grounded to the floor. And let's walk engaging the core all the way forward. Try to do it with straightened legs, but you can always bend your knees to come forward. Place the attention to your core and exhale, bring the heart towards your leg and move your hands up and stand high. Exhale, hands to chest. Tadasana. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands lower to the floor. Inhale, stretch the sternum. And let's get to the plank pose. Step back, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upper face or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. That's what we call the Vinyasa. Raise the right hand up and then with the control, step with the right forward, ground the back heel, lifting to the warrior two, straightening the front leg and flooring down to the Trikonasana. Grab your hip, shin or ankle, bring the shoulders in line. Your neck is long, stretching in all directions here. Stretch both sides of the body, your ribs. If you feel uncomfortable with your front leg, you can step your legs a bit closer to each other and get to the center with the hands, leaning to the left leg this time and stretching the right side of the body. Maybe bring your right head over the head to get the deepest stretch. And then step a little bit close. Bring your left hand outside of the right leg or into your right ankle or shin and twist. To the twisted triangle pose, look up, square the shoulders in one line. And exhale, bring both hands down towards the floor. Lift up, move your hands over the back into the Namaste or just find your elbows if you can't do that. And then adjust the pose and lean forward. Both legs are straight and strong. Just always check how low you can get. If you feel not comfortable, you can stay always on the center. You can stack wherever you feel great or soften your front knee always. And let's move this right leg back, one-legged dog. Exhale, bring the leg down and move the left leg up, bend the knee to your chest, roll the spine and with the control step the left to the front of the mat, lifting into the warrior two. And then straighten the front leg, coming to the Trikonasana. Rooting down into the arms with the legs and sending the energy through extended hands, shoulders in line. Lean back and move your hips forward. Deep breath. Pressing the legs firmly to the ground, press the outer edge of the back leg and inner edge of the front foot down to the floor. And inhale, lifting up and leaning to the back leg, to the left leg this time, finding the short back bend. Now moving the right hand forward and across, maybe step your legs closer and go to the Parivrita Trikonasana. Right hand into the left ankle or shin or out to the floor. Straighten the hands, bringing the energy through the hands, twist the spine, and then lifting through this pose. Going up, pressing the hands into the Namaste over the back or find your elbows, you can always clasp them. And then inhale, stretching the sternum, squaring the front of your pelvis as much as possible with the front edge of the mat. And leaning towards the front leg, pressing the inner thighs inward, stretching. Intense side stretch pose. Inhale, lift the gaze, release the hands down to the floor, bend the front leg, step into the one-legged dog. Exhale, move your leg down into the downward face, Padangushthasana. Pressing through the hands, fingers spread wide. Grounding the heels down to the floor, lifted hips. Inhale, look forward, and let's walk to the front of the mat using the core muscle strength. Spread your legs a little bit apart and find the elbows going into the ragdoll, our wonderful resting pose, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Open the chest, pressing the hands to Namaste, resetting Tadasana. Tailbone in. And step with your legs wide, plant your toes slightly in, Eka Pada Rajakapotasana. Moving the hands and releasing the fingers, stretching the sternum up to the ceiling. Go into the forward fold, press your heels, lengthen the front of the torso, pulling the hands away from you and pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Relax the neck, form your legs, they are really strong here. This is the great stretch for our legs and for the upper back same time. This pose is close to inversions and advised to people who are not confident with the headstands, has almost same benefits. And then inhale, let get up, stretch the chest, lift hard, lift the hands, take a breath, exhale, move the hands to Namaste. And one more variation of Eka Pada Rajakapotasana, bring your hands, bend forward, touch your big toes, grab them, inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, bring the body closer to the legs. Breathe in through the hamstring, form your legs strong, inhale, lift the gaze, your knees, move your toes outwards, move your hands forward, parallel to the floor, back parallel to the floor. Grab the ankles and use the elbow to open the hips a little bit more, and now straightening the legs. Moving to the right side and moving to the left side. Move to stretching the legs even more. Into the twist, grab with the left hand your right ankle and move your right hand forward. And then switch the side. Right hand to the left ankle, left hand forward. Twisting, gazing up. That's a really good final spinal twist. Moving the hands to the waist, lifting the torso up, stretch the chest, inhale, and then step forward, exhale, Tadasana. Deepen the breath, calming the mind. Maybe closing eyes for a moment, letting the body to reset. And thinking about the breathing, letting the breath to be the guide in all movements in yoga. Our breath is the main. Deep, deep breath. Gently open your eyes and sweep the hands up, lower down into the forward fold, head to your knees, inhale, flat back, and then move your legs wide, place your hands under your feet, Padangushthasana. Just sliding the hands and closing, stretching towards the legs, shoulders away from the neck and ears. And eventually inhale. Grab your belt if you need so. Bring the belt into the right leg and then lift, straighten right leg up. Bringing that closer and closer to the body. Form your bottom leg, the left leg really strong, straightening the knee, and then bringing the right leg to the right side, gazing to the opposite direction if that's possible, working on the stretch, squaring the hips, and opening them at the same time. Deep, deep breath, and then bring the leg to the front. Try not to lose the bound, but if you lose that, it's okay. And now move your right leg into the half lotus. Maybe rub with the right hand over the back. And then exhale, bring your body forward to the forward fold. You can keep your knees softened here if you can go with the straightened leg down, but working towards the straightened left leg. And keep reminding yourself that the right knee is facing to the right side directly. So pulling that out of the body to the right. And then inhale, lift the gaze, bend the left leg, and stand up, releasing the belt from this leg. And bringing the ankle just above the knee, so sliding the ankle a little bit down, press the hands into your knee and ankle, and then sit low. That's the great hip opener. Move the hands down to the floor, and then sit all the way down, moving to the seated, and moving the left leg parallel to the top of the mat and right leg on top of the left. So your knee to the ankle, ankle to the knee, taking the breath and leaning forward. If you can't lean forward, just stay wherever you are, feeling the hip opener, relaxing and breathing, calming down the breath, feeling sensations in our hips, feeling how they are opening in a wonderful way. Inhale, lifting up, coming back to center, and then gently, kindly cross your legs and come forward into stand. And bring the body closer to your crossed leg. That's a little bit different quality of the stretch, but really intense. And then release your legs to the forward fold, grab the belt, and let's work in towards the left side of the body. So bring the left straightened leg upward. As up as possible, work with the belt, try to straighten the spine and straighten the right leg. Move the left leg into the left side and check if you can look to the right, to the opposite direction. Just check the balance. That's not a goal, but you can try. And bring the left leg forward, move the left leg into the half lotus, and then wrap the same left hand across the spine, wrap the belt to keep the leg closer, and then inhale, stretching, straightening, lengthening the spine, exhale, lowering down, and coming closer to the leg, forward fold, breathe in. You can soften the knee, remember your choices. Don't go to the overstretch. This is a really strong pose for our hamstring, so be kind to your body. Inhale, let's lift. Bending the leg is better to come out of this pose. And then let's take the other one. So release the belt, bring the ankle just above the knee, a little bit lower than we were before, and then sit low, feeling the stretch in our hip. Left hip is really working right now, so breathe through it, give it a breath. And then on the exhalation, bring the hands down to the floor, sit low, and gently place yourself all the way to the buttocks. And again, your legs, the shins, will be parallel to the mat, so you will see like some kind of triangle inside of your pose. Inhale, stretch the chest. Exhale, move forehead to the floor, strengthening the hands and working into the stretch of the body forward. Or you can just stay in the sit, breathing through the hips and resting at the same time. That's something like a double pigeon. And that is the time to get up. Inhale, and then cross your legs, left on top of the right, straighten the legs, and move with your palms closer to your feet, so you will come into the deeper stretch, cross-legged stretch. And then release the legs, widen them, go into the chair, inhale, and stand up, bring the hands to the Namaste into Tadasana. Preparing to the next pose, resetting. And we're going to the Lord of the Dance pose. So grab your belt, or you can, if you know this pose, you can do that without a belt. And then move your heel in towards your buttocks first. Move your arm parallel to the floor, starting to lift your leg up. Your kneecap is lifting up. To avoid the compression into your lower back, actively lift your pubis towards the navel and at the same time press your tailbone toward the floor. Worry with this pose and then exhale slowly and gently, kindly releasing it. And the second side, move the belt into the upper foot and then start to raise up the elbow towards the ceiling. And with this, lean forward with the torso, stretching the torso and warring in this pose. Keep your legs strong. Try to square the hips. And deep breath is really helpful in this pose. Exhale, gently, slowly release. Release the hand, release the leg down to the mat. And then leave your belt. Move the hands to Namaste. Resetting into Tadasana again. Lifting hands up towards the sky, straighten the back. Inhale, slightly arcing. Exhale, lowering the hands down to the floor or to your ankles. Move the chest up. Exhale, bring the head closer to your legs. Step with your legs at once into the downward facing dog. Press the hips up. Lift the right leg up. Bend your right knee, that knee high to the ceiling, preparing to the pigeon pose, opening our hips. And then move this right to the front of the mat and bring the calf parallel to your mat. And then bring your hips down to the floor. And here you can vary. This pose is dependent on how parallel your calf to the floor. You can always vary your heel closer to the hip or your heel a little bit out. That will be more advanced pose. And then inhale, stretch the chest up. We need to stretch our torso and then lean towards the leg, moving the hands forward into the floor, stretching through the fingertips, working on the stretch forward, lengthening the torso and opening the hip. Lowering the left hip down to the floor. Always work with the left hip towards the floor. Deep breath. Hip openers are really emotional. Different emotions can arise during doing this pose, so working on the let go. Each exhalation, just let it go. Let everything around you to disappear. Breathing. And then our time to lift up from this pose. Bring your heel closer to your left hip to feel more comfortable and confident in the next poses we will do. Grab your back leg and work on the stretch of the quadricep. Lean a little bit forward so you will feel a big opening in the quad. And then slide the leg inside of the elbow and try to connect your hands, straightening the spine and lifting the gaze up. Preparation to the King's Pigeon. And now, maybe we will need to grab the belt. So grabbing the belt, place the belt in the right upper foot. And then the same as we done in the King's Pigeon pose. Move your elbow forward. Grab the belt with two hands and then work on your back bend. Moving the leg, the calf outside, stretching the shoulders backward. You can try different position of your hands in here. Vary this pose, playing, exploring. Where is the back bend? Opening the shoulders more. And eventually, kindly and gently releasing this pose. And moving upward, stepping the right leg outside. Lowering the left down, lower yourself into the forearms if you can, or stay pressing your palms down to the floor. Another one, great hip opener. Try to relax in this pose, as the relaxation the best help for us during these moments, during our stretches. And maybe grab with the left hand your ankle and push the right hip outside. And lift into your palms and straightening the front leg, lifting the toes, flexing them and pulling the weight forward, and then bending the front knee, lowering the hips, maybe lifting the knee up off the floor, and again coming forward, straightening the front leg, and then moving the hips down, straightening the back leg. Do that 3-4 times. That's a great preparation for our next pose, the split pose, Hanumanasana. So spread the legs, square the hips, and go deep into the split or the half split, wherever you feel you can today. It doesn't really matter if you are in the full split or not. The way to your splits is really something what matters. Wonderful way on a stretching. And now you can play with your legs again. Using the belt, maybe grab the back leg, move the belt into the upper foot, and again go into the back bends, leaning with the head towards the back leg, moving the elbow forward, maybe both hands. It depends on your balance today. I prefer to stay with my right hand down to the floor to balance more. And then we need to get out of this pose, so bring the right leg up and back into the one-legged dog. And start to round the hip. Rounding the hip will relax our muscles and joints. And let's start the left side. So bring your leg up, bend the knee up towards the sky without moving to one side, so your shoulders in one line. And then bring the leg forward, bring the calf parallel to the floor, going into the pigeon. Lower the right hip this time down to the floor, stretching the sternum up, taking the breath, and on the exhalation, lengthening and lowering down to the floor. And resting, letting the emotions to go. Let everything go. Just the breath, something really important for the relaxation and the deeper stretch. Inhale, come up, and again, bring your left heel close to the right thigh, and then go to the quad stretch. So lean a little bit forward, grab the leg, stretch the quad, slide the leg inside of the elbow, and go and grab, find your fingertips and releasing the fingers or just touching them. Straightening the chest up, finding the small back bend. And then grab your toe and you can work in the King's Pigeon. Maybe grabbing the leg with both hands or using the belt as we did before, placing the belt into the upper foot and then starting gently move the elbow forward and up, finding this wonderful King's Pigeon back bend. Grabbing with the both hands, exploring the move. Whatever you can do here will be perfect for you in this moment. So listen to the body and relax this pose. Step the Left leg outside of your hands. Ground your hips down to the floor. Maybe go to your forearms and relax that way, or stay pressing your palms to the mat. We're preparing to our splits, so don't be hurried. And always remember your choices. If you feel pain, that means you need to lift a little bit up from this pose. We are not exploring the pain in yoga. The stretching, not pain. And then lift yourself up and move your right elbow to the floor, pushing the left hip away from the body. Maybe you can go into the outer edge of your feet and then bringing the roll up, straightening the left leg this time and smoothly moving towards the left straightened leg and towards lowering our hip down to the floor. Move backward and forward a few times before you will do the split. And I'm ready to the split. You can pause the video and do a few moves more, or getting into the split, half split, whatever you can do. Remember that not necessary to sit too low if you explore pain. And again, there is your choice to move here. You can play with the belt as I do in this video. Same as we done into the Natarajasana or into the King Pigeon Pose. Same we can explore in the hip, rolling the elbow up, forward, finding the back bend, balancing, squaring the hips. And then exhale. Lift the belt and go into the one-legged dog. Lift the left leg up and moving this left leg down. Padangushthasana. Deep breath. And now bring your knees down to the mat. Gently sit on your hips and then moving the legs wide. Utthita. Flex your toes, kneecaps facing up, and with the breath go to low down to the floor. Straighten spine, lengthening the spine. Maybe find your feet. Stretching, working on this pose. Every exhalation brings us closer and closer to the floor. Now let's get up and move into the twist. So the right shoulder down, left hand up and across. And then change the twist, left shoulder down, right hand up and across. Inhale, lifting up, moving the legs together, gently going out of the pose. Lay on the back, into the bridge pose. Shake your legs first to help the muscles to release. Press your feet, heels closer to the hips. Press the hands down to the floor and lift your tailbone up. Squeeze your buttocks. Pressing the feet to the ground. Exhale, release this pose, and let's take a little bit advanced. So move your hands under your buttocks, releasing the fingers, moving the shoulders in towards each other, and bringing hips as high as possible. Press the tailbone towards the pubic bone. Squeeze the knees in towards each other. Hold the pose. And exhale, release. Bring the hands over the back and get into the wheel pose, pressing the palms and feet firmly to the floor, straightening the hands and legs. Try to open from the chest more than from the lower back. You can do this pose or you can do the previous one. It doesn't really matter. Just do whatever you feel, whatever the body called you to do. And eventually exhale, bring your knees to your chest, roll from side to side, go into the happy baby pose, massaging the spine gently, the lower back touching the ground, play with your legs wherever you are, wherever the flow is for you. And then roll, rock and rolls, forward and backward. Just let yourself to play on the floor, massaging the back. And then sit, straighten the legs, Grab your yogic toes and bring yourself to the Paschimottanasana. Here we're more lengthening the lower back, so you can soften the knees, spending some time breathing through the spine. And then roll the shoulders and move back all the way down to the mat. Bring the knees against the chest, give them a big hug again. And let's get to the Sarvangasana. So pull the hips up, help with the hands, and just going into the breath, moving the shoulders in towards each other, the elbows in towards each other to get a high pose. Halasana, bring the legs over the head, maybe touch your toes to the ground. Maybe you can underlace the fingers over the back. Or Karnapindasana, your knees are moving towards the floor. If you are not sure with this pose, you always can move your knees to the forehead. Just breathe in there. That's the end of the practice. So finishing, relaxing sequence. And then support the lower back and gently, millimeter by millimeter, roll the spine down to the floor. Straighten the legs. And then slowly bring the legs down to the ground, turning on your core muscles. That will help you to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer and for a more relaxed level. That additional work is really helpful to bring yourself to a peaceful state of mind. And finally, our favorite Shavasana. Feet apart, the palms upward, the spine's laying on the mat. Just relax. Namaste.